What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Enduring Aesthetics Podcast. In today's episode, Clint and I talk about the Colorado experiment, what went down, what we think we can gain from that experiment, and some common misconceptions about how the experiment was run. Let's jump right into it. I wanted to ask you what you know first about the Colorado experiment.
A lot of interesting stuff. So
let's get started.
Okay, so I researched it, and it was done 28 days, like you said. It was done in May 1973 at Colorado State University. One thing that was interesting, though, about Casey Viator, and Arthur Jones actually took place with this experiment too. But if I remember right, he had to quit before it was fully over. I think he quit.
Yep.
He quit about a week before, which my research, it basically said that he came into the experiment sick, Arthur Jones. Like, he wasn't physically doing very well. But even with that said, I mean, he still made a decent amount of muscle gain. And I think he even lost some fat, too.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently Viator, about 5 months before this, he lost either his whole finger or part of a finger in an industrial accident, right? So they had to give him a tetanus shot when this incident occurred, and he almost died because of the tetanus shot. He had like a really bad reaction to the tetanus shot. So because of that incident,
Wait. He lost his finger before or after?
Before the experiment. Yeah, about 5 months before the experiment. I think it was in January of 73. I guess when he wasn't bodybuilding, he was working as an industrial worker. It doesn't really go into detail about the incident. It sounds like it's probably interesting. But it just said that he lost his finger in an industrial accident, got this tetanus shot, right? Had a really bad reaction to it, and it left him in a really weakened state, and he lost a bunch of weight. And then also, what I read is to make the experiment look much better than it actually was, a few weeks before they started this, he was only eating about 800 calories a day, which is nuts.
Wow. That's nothing.
Yeah. So, and he has said in the last several years that the reason that he did that is because Arthur Jones was essentially paying him per pound of weight that he gained. And so
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I saw that in the book. He had a financial incentive
Right.
to gain more weight, and it was per pound.
Right. And I think what he even said is like he gave me enough money to like buy a Corvette, like back then. Like, that's how much money I got because of this 28-day experiment, because he gained so much, right? So he came in weighing only about 167 pounds, gained a total of 45 over the experiment. 63 pounds was muscle gain, 17 pounds was fat loss. One thing that I thought was really interesting is that since they were doing the Nautilus stuff and high intensity, right, so you're not really doing a whole lot of volume, in those 28 days, his training time totaled only 7 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, I saw the average workout was like 33.6 minutes per workout or something like that.
Right, yeah. And I think what I read, too, is that about half the exercises that he did were negative-only exercises. Because apparently for a while, Arthur was really big on negative-only. And for a while, he was kind of preaching that you don't even need the positive. Like, all you need to do is the negative. But he was a scientific guy too, right? So after he did, a few years of experience, he realized that, I'm wrong. You need more than just the negative for proper, muscle building. And as far as steroids go, right? I mean, like, Casey's been adamant that he didn't take steroids, that Arthur told him, if I find out you're taking any steroids, you're out. I'm not giving you $1. And which that's interesting. And And one stat that I see here that was recorded that makes me think, that would make you think he did take them, is that his body fat percentage was about 13% when the experiment started, and when it ended, it was only 2.7%.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is nuts.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yes.
That's insane.
Right. So, but then, like we were talking about earlier, I suppose he could have done this naturally and just let his body get back to where it had been on gear. Because like you were saying, you know, once you've been on gear, once you've pushed your body to that limit and expanded it like that, of course with muscle memory and everything, it's easier for it to come back to it the second time around.
Yeah, it definitely plays a role. I mean, muscle memory has value.
Right. And Casey was still a young guy back then. I don't know what his exact age was, but I know he was pretty young. So, I mean, I could see it. I could see being able to, you know, put those numbers on naturally, given what he had been through, you know, basically starving himself, being in this weakened condition. He hadn't trained at all in several months. So, and he, you know, he's admitted to being a steroid user. So to me, like, now that Arthur's gone, right, now that, like, it's not like he would have to give the money back or anything. So what would be the incentive for him to keep this up of, like, yeah, I was natural? I mean, you've already admitted that you've taken steroids. Like, what would be the harm in admitting that you took steroids for this experiment? So, I'm gonna say that I believe him. That I don't think he took anything. As crazy as that sounds, again, that one statistic though of going to a body fat percentage of 2.7%. That's the only thing that's like holding me back from saying that I'm like 100% certain. You know, and what did you find on it? What are your thoughts on it?
So when I first heard about the Colorado experiment, my first impression was like, wow, they took basically, and I didn't know much about Casey at the time, so I was like, wow, they took a relatively normal person and added 63 pounds of muscle. Like, that's insane, right? But the more that I looked into it and the more that I've been posting that on my Instagram, I've had, like, people that are in the industry that have met Casey, that have met, you know, the high intensity crew, that have said, you know, it's not what you expect. I've seen, like, I've had comments before that have been like, it's not as straightforward as you would think it would be. When I have people, like, expand on that, I got all of exactly what you just said. One, he was basically starving himself prior to. He had a huge financial incentive per pound gained. So obviously he was doing everything he could possibly do to get that gain. Also, it's not like you just took a normal person off the street and put him through this program. I mean, he was at a professional level. He did take steroids before having done this experiment.
Right. So
he had a baseline much, much, much higher than your average person would have if they were to just go and start off this training program. You know, additionally, it was like, this is his job, day in, day out. He ate like 6 to 8 meals a day, right? And for 28 days, and that's all he did, was the workouts 3 times a week, and then eat, recover.
Yeah. Probably got 9 or 10 hours of sleep every night, you know, to make sure that the growth was there as far as sleep goes.
Yeah.
Tell me about the food, because that's one thing that I wasn't really able to find much information on, as far as you know, what he was eating, how much he was eating, caloric intake, macros, things like that.
Let me see if it says anything here.
Yeah, because the book I had doesn't make any mention of food at all, but obviously food played a huge role, right?
Well, yeah, 100%. So the only thing that it says here is Casey ate 6 to 8 meals per day like it was his job. That's not a metaphor. He had a cash incentive per pound of muscle gained. It was his job. And then it goes into here's one of Casey's exercises. Did you see any of the exercises though?
No, I didn't see any of them.
It's ridiculous. I'm just going to read you the first 4
Okay.
of 15, okay?
Okay.
So he started with leg press, 750 pounds for 20 reps.
Wow.
Leg extensions, 225 pounds for 20 reps. Squat, 502 pounds for 13 reps. Leg curl, 175 pounds for 12 reps.
Wow.
I'm going to stop at 4 out of 15.
Wow.
And then just let you know that it says here...
Are the other 11 leg exercises as well?
No, the others are, it goes in, he finishes off legs by like the fifth exercise,
Okay.
and then 6 through 8 is back, no, 6 through 9 is back, then it goes to shoulders, chest, lots of stuff, like whole body, full body. But,
so were his workouts structured full body? Or
Yes.
did they split? Or okay, so every workout was full body.
Every workout full body, 3
Okay.
times a week, 33.6 minute average per workout. And then what's interesting is, I mean, that 750 pound leg press to third exercise, 502 pound squat for 13 reps.
Yeah, that's
that
nuts.
was all done, no rest in between.
Yeah,
That's
real
insane.
quick. Yeah,
Can you imagine squatting 502 pounds for 13 reps and then going straight to 175 pound leg curl?
right. Yeah. No, and
Good Lord.
I remember hearing that about Arthur. That's what he wanted was, as soon as you finish an exercise, you were on to the next one. And I remember seeing that he did. He was testing out some stuff on. I think it was Ray Mincer, and like they had him hooked up to see like heartbeats and stuff like that. And like by the end, like it was crazy. Like his heart was like way over 200 beats a minute. Like it was just like, yeah. And they said that when he was done, he literally like collapsed on the floor, kind of thing. And I think
that's so counterintuitive to what we know today. It's like if you're training
Right.
for strength or anything like that, you should be taking minutes in between your sets.
right, for sure. So what? So the author who tried to recreate it, what was his performance like? How did he end up doing after the 28 days?
So I think this is actually a lot more indicative of what would actually happen if a natural person were to do it for 28 days.
Right.
Also, still, it's incredibly impressive, like relative to what most bodybuilders or training professionals will tell you can expect. I mean, like they say, what, like 5 pounds per year? It's like good. You're doing good, right? He started out, he was 27 years old. He started out with 146 pounds of body weight. And at the end of his 28 days, he was at a weight of 177 pounds. So
wow.
34 pounds added in that time. Now, I can tell you, though, that this author is, like, totally anal and meticulous about everything.
Yeah.
I know he was definitely consuming the perfect amount of food, perfect amount of supplements, getting exactly the rest he needed, and following the workouts to a T.
Yeah.
So I would imagine conditions are absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you look at the pictures of his before and after, he looks like a general beginner.
Okay.
And you know, like newbie gains
Oh,
are
yeah.
a thing.
Oh, yeah.
100%. But they're noticeably impressive. He definitely put on some size, and you can tell he put on size. I mean, he did what he had to do to follow that experiment. And his body fat also did go down. Not nearly as drastically, but he started off with 16.72% body fat, ended up at 12.23.
Okay.
I think that's pretty incredible considering 34 pounds gained.
For sure.
I don't know how you gain weight and lose body fat at the same time. That's very counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's tough to do, for sure.
But so I mean, I think there's probably merit to the program to a degree, but it's skewed the way that Casey and Arthur Jones approached it.
Right.
And I think it's important to note all those things that you just said. Like, he was starving himself and, perfect conditions and all that.
Well, and the initial goal, right, was to make these Nautilus machines look incredible. And
Yeah.
so Arthur Jones definitely had an incentive to, make his machines look good and sell more of them. That's the same reason that he trained Sergio and entered him into the 1971 NABA Mr. Universe contest against Bill Pearl and Reg Park, and he gave Sergio a financial incentive too. If you win this, then I'll give you a bunch of money. But in return, he was going to let everybody know that Sergio trained on my machines, and this is why he looks so great. And for sure.
That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the Colorado experiment down in the comments section below. And make sure to subscribe for more episodes like this in the future.